Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Philip Norton here, taking a look at the chart breakdown for Micron Technology. It has been almost 2 weeks, 12 days, since my last kind of chart breakdown with this. If you haven't taken a look at that previous video, go ahead and give it a watch. It's actually kind of interesting to see kind of my breakdown of my thoughts going back on the 16th. August 16th, and then, of course, what we are seeing now. For those of you that haven't seen it, in that I called for on the 16th, so it was after hours. So, of course, here was the day on the 16th. After we kind of saw it hold this long-term trend line, I actually called for, really the breakdown was, are we going to see a continued head and shoulders kind of pattern, shoulder, head, shoulder, and we're going to continue to see it downtrend here, or are we going to see it kind of hold that long-term trend line and move its way back up? My actually review was that I was at least short-term bullish, because even if you do think it is going to continue to downtrend or was going to continue to downtrend here at the long-term trend line, that those usually, of course, step down, and so we had kind of hit and retested support, and that, of course, we were looking for a pop. So the call, of course, was over the next few days to get back up to 50 into the 200 for the first kind of profit taking for those people that watch that bounce, and then potentially again in the 52, 53 line. And sure enough, here we are 12 days later. Stock closed today at 52.34. So I've added two new kind of trend lines, short-term little channels here for this downtrend that we're in, because as mentioned in the previous video, I thought it would pull up at least to 50, potentially up to 52, 53 before it continues its step down. And so that's where we're at here today. We've now kind of gone up to the top of this channel. You actually saw it, hit up here and hold under the channel today. Though, even though we did get a nice sell-off off the channel, we did get some buying. It did get bought up pretty well in that. So, what do we expect next? What are we looking at? So, of course, right, two ways. You can go up or down. I actually like the downtrend here. I know AMD did post or release a new chip out, kind of some stock news with that sent it to all-time highs. However, even with these semiconductors, I don't think that news would kind of affect Micron in the long term or change its whole trend, just because of that little bit of catalyst in there. So I actually do believe that the trend will hold and we'll kind of see our next step down. So that's what I'm looking for definitely tomorrow. So looking to buy puts tomorrow, of course, as it pulls down, at least back to the trend line, right? The long-term trend line. So you can definitely look to get a pull here in the 48, 49 range. A 10, almost a, almost a 10% pullback there. Over the next few days is what I'm looking for. Of course, like I said, you're really watching tomorrow because while I was a lot more confident in the move prior to the late in the day price action, so when it held that short-term top of the channel today, really looked like it was going to go bearish and start that fall. And so, but of course, the buying app does give you a little bit of kind of bullish sentiment into it, of where we're going to see this stock run to next. So of course, if the stock is able to pull up and pull higher tomorrow, really over over 52.50, close to 53, you could see it break out of this channel and actually kind of break this little bit of trend you've got going on here. So definitely at risk of that with just kind of the way the price action went from yesterday. So something I'll watch very closely for an entry point. Might wait, of course, until to get under here, get under 52, just to kind of confirm my entry a little more before I jump in. So I'll be watching that tomorrow. Like I said, definitely could have a break of trend tomorrow, though I am expecting it to pull back And of course, once it gets under 52, I would then go ahead and buy some short-term puts, at least probably short-term $50 puts, 50.48 puts, something around there, and watch this pull back to the trend line. And then, of course, based on the price action at that trend line, to see if we're looking to hold for a continued move down further, or if it's something that that we're looking at the bounce, maybe some consolidation there. Of course, I hate hanging on to options during any bit of consolidation in that. So if there's not much a large of a bounce off it, we'll see where we go from there. So that's really what I'm watching here with Micron. Like I said, looking for it to get under 52 tomorrow to get those puts in place. However, if it goes the other way, getting up really over 53, you could look for it to continue its move higher. But of course, everything tells me, at least in the short term, that still be a little bearish on this. And now that we are at the top of the channel, so while my last video called for it to move up, it did do its move up to the top of the channel, and now it's a great place to look for it to move back down, and that. So we're looking at in there. So as always, please subscribe, get all of my new videos as they come out. If you have any comments, any thoughts, if you're looking at different pivot lines, technical indicators, go ahead and post them in the comments. I always like a good dialogue about it. And of course, if there are any other stocks that you are watching currently that you'd like me to kind of take a look at, do a little technical breakdown on, always more than welcome to as well. So thanks for viewing.